So I am now officially week 9, day 7. I am literally 1 day away from week 10, and this last week has just flown by. It's just been one thing after another this week, between signing the details for the house, like getting the keys for the house. On Saturday, trying to... How are you doing, Lara? On Saturday, trying to get stuff organised and sorted and packed. And then on Sunday, I went free flying with my friends. Yesterday, I was at work all day, and then I did a little bit of packing. And then once I got home, or once I finished packing, I actually needed to get ready to go out because I went paddleboarding with my dad and Jason's dad. Oh, it's been a long one. And then today, my hay fever was just playing up like crazy. It's been a weird one. It's been a weird few days. But I've got my dating scan next week, next Monday, which will confirm exactly how far along I am, which is very exciting. But I feel weird at the moment, and I know I'm coming towards the end of my first trimester. I know that for a fact, and I know that it does get easier as you hit second trimester and the symptoms tend to go away, but I've not had, with the exception of a bit morning sickness yesterday, and it wasn't even in the morning, it was like midday, my body just started retching for no reason, like literally retching for no reason. It was really weird. I just suddenly got the urge to be sick, and I had nothing in my stomach. My stomach was empty. I didn't even have water in my stomach, and my body was retching, which was strange. That's the first time I've experienced that during this whole pregnancy. And it still feels weird to say pregnancy because it's been so mostly normal. During this part of the pregnancy, unless you've got really bad symptoms, you don't feel pregnant. You don't feel pregnant at all. It's a very strange sensation. You've got everyone telling you you're pregnant. You've got pregnancy tests telling you you're pregnant. You've got maybe a couple of symptoms telling you you're pregnant. But for the most part, you don't feel pregnant. You don't feel any different, or at least I don't. Some people do say they feel different. They can tell the difference in their body. I can't. I cannot tell the difference in my body at all. The only thing I've noticed is there is some obvious pressure in my lower abdomen. There is very obviously something solid in there, or something large and bulky and in the way. But other than that, I've not noticed any difference in my day-to-day life. It's been really weird. I think I've said that a lot through this pregnancy journey. I don't feel different. I've also been monitoring my weight really closely during this pregnancy, just out of sheer curiosity. I've been weighing myself every day to every other day on average. I started around 105.5, 106 kilograms. I then slowly went up by about half a kilogram to a kilogram a day, up until about 109.5 kilograms, and then I started going back down again. I went down to 108.7, then 108, then 107.7, 107.5, back up to 107.7, and I'm now at 107.7 this morning. So it's been really interesting to watch my weight fluctuate quite heavily in both directions. I don't know what that means for me. I don't know what that means for little one. My hay fever is driving me insane. It has been so bad this year. It's not been bad to the point where my eyes were puffy and I couldn't see, but it's just been constant at a higher level. Oh, it's just been awful to deal with. I've got another busy day today. I've got a long day with the dogs. And then this afternoon, I need to come home and I need to pack a bit more. I need to consider going to the house and getting some stuff started on the house, whether or not that's pulling up the carpet in the bird room ready for laminate, or whether or not that's doing something else. We can't really decide how we want to decorate it, which we've been trying to plan on how to decorate it the entire time we've been in the process, and we've just not been able to make a decision. We can't decide on a colour scheme or how we want it to look or how we want it to be designed. It's just, we're both a bit too easygoing in that respect. Right, I need to go before my hay fever kills me. Another thing I did want to say is my sister suggested I try the fizz test. I don't know if anyone knows what the fizz test is. Some people argue the fizz test is to find out if you're pregnant or not. That's absolute nonsense. Now, the fizz test is apparently a way to try and identify the gender of what your little one is going to be. The whole idea of the fizz test is you take some bicarbonate of soda and you put it into a cup of urine. I don't know if the quantity matters, but basically if it fizzes or if it hisses, it is going to be a boy. And if it stays completely still, it's going to be a girl. Or if there's no reaction, it's going to be a girl. My little sister said that it was accurate for her. Hers fizzed like crazy and she had a boy. And for her friend, who had 2 little girls, both times she did the fizz test, nothing happened. There was no fizz, there was no reaction from the bicarb of soda going in her urine. So I decided to do the fizz test, just out of sheer curiosity. And as of right now, we're not going to find out the gender of our little one until, I think it's week 18, you get told the gender. So it's another month away yet still. But based on the fizz test, I have an idea of what it might be. But the fizz test is only 50% accurate. Surprise, surprise, considering there's a 50-50 chance of it being a boy or a girl. It's not accurate, it's not scientifically based, it's not backed up, it's just another old wives' tale. But we are going to see how accurate that is when we actually go for our gender scan in week 18. But first, we need to actually have our dating scan. I'm going to leave that one here. I don't know if I'm going to vlog any more today because, like I said, I've got a really busy day. I've got a load of packing to do. I need to do some bits at the house. I need to take some stuff over. And I'm just... my hay fever's not making me think straight, which is not helping. It is still day 9, week 9, day 7. And I'm just on a walk. My English doesn't want to English at the moment. I'm just on a walk out with the dogs. And I have to admit, I have noticed something the last couple of days. I noticed it yesterday, but I haven't noticed it properly until today. It is my pants and my leggings are getting a lot tighter now. When I was trying to put my swimming gear on yesterday, I noticed that my baggy swimming pants, which are like basically pants made out of swimming material, because like they just help protect you from the sun when you're doing open water swimming and stuff. I did notice they were really tight yesterday. They were, even at my heaviest at like 106, 107, they were quite baggy on me. And even now at 107, they're getting tight. They're getting really tight. Dad's going this way, please, bud. Thank you, sweetheart. We're going to go down the path so I'm not falling downstairs. Come on. And today, while I'm out walking the dogs, I've just noticed, I don't know whether or not I'm bloated at the minute on top of it, but my leggings are really tight. My leggings are really tight. They're not tight as in restricting. I've still got some give, but not by much. Not by much at all. I am really starting to feel, don't you go under there. I'm really starting to feel the growth now in my stomach. So I'm back home from work and I experienced something new today. Mood swings, hormonal mood swings that's come along with pregnancy. That was an experience I'd rather not repeat, but I know it's going to repeat and I'd rather not repeat it. Earlier today I just realised how wonky that shelf is. This morning, so many things were making me angry. So many things were making me angry. Things were bashing into me, banging on me, spiking me. I had at one point a freaking holly bush leaf smack me across the face. Every time I get pain, I get a little angry. And when it's lots and lots and lots of little pains adding up, I get really angry. Like in general, but today the anger was raging. Like it was so bad. Anytime my parrots landed on me and scratched my skin, I was getting raging angry. Not at them, thankfully, I was able to contain it, but I could feel it starting to bottle up. Anytime I dropped something, it added a couple of drops to the volcano that was building. Anytime I stubbed my toe, it added a couple of drops to the bottle. Anytime I put something down and it fell over, or put something on a shelf and it fell over, it was adding a few more drops. And then anytime I bashed my leg into a table, or I walked into the freaking washing machine, or I tripped up on a stump while working, like all these tiny little things were just building and building and building on this internal rage. And then the rage started to subside and I was listening to a song. I really, really, really wanted to listen to Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. Great film, by the way. I think it's only been out for like 2 weeks at this point, but it's one of the best things I've ever seen. It was absolutely amazing. The songs are fantastic in it. Loved it. Loved every second of it. The songs are amazing. I've got all the songs on my Spotify. So I decided I wanted to listen to Golden, which is one of the songs, and it's a really great, happy song. And I was welling up at it. I was starting to feel very emotional. I was starting to feel very sad. I was starting to feel like I just wanted to burst into tears. It was very weird. It was like, this is a happy song. I'm not meant to be feeling like this. So I quickly turned it off, let myself calm down, and we were okay. We were happy. We were normal for a while. And then towards the end of the day, when the weather was like really muggy and really just stale air with like no wind, it was just that started to get me feeling a bit irky again and a bit grouchy. And on my very last dog walk, I was feeling very irky and very grouchy because the dog kept on pulling and yanking on me, and that obviously then caused further rage. And finally the dogs was over. I dropped them off at home. I got home and I was fine. but I was feeling really productive. It's like, I want to get something done tonight, so I'm going to get something done. And I decided I'm going to call the gas and electric company that provides the gas and electric to our new home, because we've not got around to doing that yet, and I'd rather get it done sooner rather than later, because like we need to make sure that we're paying for the gas and electricity that's now in the property. So I decided to contact them, and I spoke to a really lovely lady. We got it all sorted and got me and Jason an account set up, and didn't think anything of it, thought it'd be fine. But there was a discrepancy with the meter reading that I got and the meter reading that came through to their system on the smart meter. She said to me to send a message through the contact us section with an attachment of the photos so that they could look into it and investigate this discrepancy. So I went onto the online forum. It took me a long time to find the contact us section. A long time, because these kind of companies, it's nearly impossible to contact them these days. Everything is through AI bots or FAQs and things like this. And I couldn't find what I needed. I couldn't find what I wanted. Like, all I want to do is find the contact us section so I could upload these photos and send them to the people. Eventually, after like 10 minutes of searching and pressing buttons and all sorts, finally get through to the contact us section. It wasn't even on the bottom of the website. It was just like invisible. You couldn't find it. Finally get to the contact us section. Try to use the online website thing, like the online message system that they use. So filled in all my details, filled in my message, press submit. It wouldn't let me send it without a topic. So I put topic as moving house or moving in. And then thing I need help with was like, I'm about to move into the property. When I selected that topic, suddenly the entire message disappeared and it went me back to the FAQs. I'm like, well, that's no freaking good to me. I need to send the message so I can attach the photos. So I tried changing the subject. Still sent me to more FAQs. Change subject again. More FAQs. Change subject again. More FAQs. I'm like, this is freaking useless to me. I noticed it had an option to contact them via WhatsApp, so I contacted them via WhatsApp, only to get responded to by a bot who was like, hi, I'm your helpful AI assistant bot. Please let me know your question. So I just recopied and pasted my message that I'd already sent through WhatsApp. Got a response from the bot. Sorry, I don't understand your question. Okay. If I can't help you further, I'll put you through to a member of staff. Brilliant, please put me through to a member of staff, because you cannot help me with the situation, bot. You do not have the answer to my question. Sorry, do not understand the answer to your question again. Please could you make the question more simple? So I put it again. Please put me through to a member of staff. Okay, our member of staff is available from this time to this time. It's not currently available because we're currently closed, blah, blah. Great. That's not helpful to me in any way, shape or form. So tried going back to the online messaging system and tried to use a different option and a different subject. Still wouldn't let me send the message, still kept me on deleting and making the message invisible and sending me to FAQs. I'm like, this is freaking useless. What about when the FAQs don't work? And I was getting angry by this point. I was getting really angry by this point because it was just a constant back and two and there was no easy answer. It was just all very frustrating, very, very frustrating. Like, AI is not helping us in this situation. AI is making things worse. It's making it more stressful. All they asked me to do was send a message and attach photos, and the website was not allowing me to do that based on why I needed to send the photos. So eventually I managed to find a topic and a subject that would allow me to send a message and attach photos. Press submit, and it would not submit. It just kept on going round and round and round in a little loading circle, and did so for over an hour. Tried again, same scenario. So I tried downloading the app, logged into the app, reset my password. Turns out they put Jason down as the main account holder instead of myself, considering, you know, I'm the one that contacted them and changed all the details, but for some reason they put my partner down as the main contact person. Whatever. Ignoring that, set all the password, got everything sorted, everything seemed fine. Tried downloading the app, went through the contact us section of the app, it sent me straight back to the web page with the messaging availability. So tried sending the message again, and once again it was sending off a loading screen. By this point, I was raging. I was absolutely raging. I'd lost all patience. My frustration levels were at their highest. I was angry beyond belief. I was so mad and fed up and just lost all will by that point. Slammed my phone down. Literally slammed my phone down. By this point, I was ready to smash things. I was physically ready to smash things. I was trying so hard not to punch the freaking, I don't get this angry. I don't get this angry. I've not been this level angry since I was in my early 20s and I was having a lot of stress with my sister. I was having to take every inch of will that I had not to smash things, not to smash the mug that was in my hand, not to throw my phone across the room and smash it against the wall, to not smash the TV screen, to not like smash anything in my sight, not to kick the tables. And it was weird. I have not felt that level of anger in decades. Decades and decades. And then once the anger subsided, it thankfully didn't last too long, and I managed to rein in all my anger. I tried to breathe, and as I went to breathe, I went to put my hands upon my face, and my hands just physically clawed my face and dragged, and I'm so amazed. I'm so grateful that I cut my nails last night so that I don't have claw marks all the way down both sides of my face right now. Because the amount of pressure I put in my hands, I literally thought I was going to rip my face off. It was that strong. And then next thing you know, my hands are in my hair and they are physically pulling and ripping out my hair. And it's, thankfully I didn't actually rip my hair out, but my God, it was painful because it's like I just needed to get the rage out. The rage needed to get out. Next thing you know, I get hit with a wave, this massive wave of sadness and tears and frustration that just hit me like a brick wall. And next thing you know, I'm in tears, sat on the chair. I'm just bawling. I'm just letting it out because I don't know what else to do. I'm so frustrated. I'm so annoyed. And it was just, I couldn't control it. I was just sobbing. I was literally just sobbing. The next thing you know, the cat comes in the living room and starts meowing and screaming and crying at me because she wants her tea, because it was tea time. And I said to her, like, I'm really sorry, just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And she can't understand what I'm saying. And I know she can't understand what I'm saying. But I was like, just 5 minutes. I just need 5 minutes. Leave me alone for 5 minutes. Just let me calm down. And she wouldn't leave me alone. She kept on staring at me and screaming and crying and meowing. Every scream, every cry, every meow became overstimulating. Every sound by that point became overstimulating. Every bit of noise by that point became overstimulating. So her just screaming and crying at me was just making the overstimulation worse and worse and worse. I ended up leaning down at quite high speed and just pushing her towards the living room door just to get her away from me to stop the noise. And I say pushing like it was like just like shoving, but without too much force so that she went flying, just like encouraging her to go to basically the front door. Then she sat outside the living room and continued screaming and continued crying and continued meowing. I got up and I slammed the living room door at full force because I just couldn't cope with the noise. After slamming the door, I came and sat down on this sofa and I literally just grabbed this and I started bawling my eyes out into this. Now, the problem with having parrots is parrots sense your emotions better than most animals, and they then reflect your emotions back onto you. So because I was sobbing, they started screaming in unison. Both of them at full volume, scream, 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 and they wouldn't stop. I was just getting angrier and crying more and bawling and angry and bawling and angry. Before I know it, I'm standing up and I am slamming, like I'm charging towards the living room door, just screaming, I need quiet, the noise has to stop, I can't handle noise. Slammed the living room door behind me, charged to the back garden, slammed the back door behind me and just sat down in the garden, trembling, crying and trembling and crying. The only thought that was going through my head is the noise needs to stop. I need quiet. The noise has to stop. And then within 3 seconds of being in the garden, an ambulance or police car goes roaring down the street. The ice cream van starts ringing around going ding 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 ding. Next door's little one starts crying. The people behind me, their kids start kicking the balls against the fence at very high speed and force, though they're just banging out of nowhere. Oh, my camera battery's about to die and I've not finished the story. Sorry for the quality, I've had to switch back to my phone. And then I had someone mowing his lawn. Then there was a kid going past on a freaking moped type hairdryer thing, revving his engine at high speed. Then a car not long after him revving its engine at high speed. Next thing you know, someone's honking their horns. There's a domestic going on down the road. I can't cope. I physically cannot cope. It's like, this is too much noise. I'm literally bawling my eyes out, sobbing into my hands, going, make it stop, make the noise stop. I end up standing up and coming back inside out of pure rage, shutting the back door, and I just collapse onto the kitchen floor, completely crumple down into a ball against the cupboards and just cry and cry. The cat comes and checks on me, bless her.
And then next thing you know, the parrots can hear me crying, so they start screaming and screaming. I can hear the fan on the oven next to me. I can hear the timer of the boiler ticking over. I can hear the electric in the goddamn lights. And I'm just so overstimulated that I just couldn't cope. I could not cope. Like, there was just constant noise ringing in my ear, and it was horrible. I managed to calm myself down enough to put my parrots to bed and to feed my cat, which thankfully stopped most of the noise. I then put my PJs on and crawl into bed, still crying my eyes out, absolutely bawling by this point. Lay in bed, head on pillow, crying and crying, but the window was open because it's been goddamn hot this week because of the heat waves. Then next thing you know, another car goes past, kids start screaming in the street, the ice cream van carries on going off, there's a bird outside my window chirping and screaming and all sorts. Next thing you know, one of my parrots can hear me crying, so they start screaming, and I'm like, just please, the noise has to stop. I have my head squished between my pillows, sobbing my eyes out, begging the noise to stop because it just had to stop. There was just too much noise. I was so overstimulated. I have never, ever in my life been as overstimulated as I was this afternoon. Never in my life. Eventually, I can't cope with the noise. I force myself out of bed. I come downstairs. I come into the living room. I close every window. I close the curtains for a short period of time. I've closed the door so the cat can't get in, so that there is as little noise in here as possible. And I've literally hid under Jason's dressing gown, sobbing my eyes out for 10 minutes straight just to calm down. And at one point I could still hear a couple of cars and everything going past outside, so I literally, while still underneath it, had my hands on the outside, pressing it against my ears, trying to drown out as much sound as possible because I just needed the noise to stop. It's weird to say, but for that split moment of during all that craziness, I wished I was deaf. I genuinely wished I had a cochlear implant and I could just unplug it and stop the noise and just have silence for just a few minutes. It was agony. The mental stimulation, the emotional stimulation, just everything was just crazy. And it was so much to deal with. It was so emotional. It was so raw. It was so stressful. But then after 10 minutes of hiding with this against my ears and hiding under this and sobbing and sobbing and sobbing my eyes out, I finally managed to calm down. And now I need to get food because I'm goddamn starving. But that was a roller coaster. That was a roller coaster that I've never been on before. The level of overstimulation was insane. The level of emotion that I had no control over was insane. That was an experience. An experience I'd rather not repeat. I know I'm going to have to repeat it because mood swings are a part of pregnancy, but it's one I hope I don't repeat anytime soon. My friend Aline, who has had 3 kids, did say to me that apparently the hormones come in surges, and you get a surge of hormones every 3 days or so. So today was potentially just a surge day or a high hormone surge day, and that's why it's affected me so badly. But damn, that's a surge I'd rather not repeat. That was madness. That was just madness.